Hello, welcome to this discussion. This group has just watched 6 videos from Swedenborgian content creators, and now we're going to discuss if we've noticed any differences between the men and the women, male and female content creators. Their message, how they communicate to us, and also how we receive those communications. Okay, so we'll just go through one at a time and hear what you have to say. And I'm not going to try and collate people's responses, just whatever you have. So the first one, maybe if we can avoid saying the names of the speaker. 1, 2, yeah, identify them by number. I have no idea if in this video that we're recording if they can hear us. I don't know, but we'll just do our best. Okay, so number 1, the presenter's gender was male. What were your first impressions when?
I noticed the altar.
The altar?
Mm-hmm.
It felt more, yeah, it felt very, it felt more produced and prepared.
Mm-hmm. Polished with the images that popped up at the appropriate times.
Mm-hmm. But the first impression was polished, the way it was coming across,
Mm-hmm.
and the altar, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the church setting.
Mm-hmm.
Also very, like, the initial presentation was much more religious because of that.
Yeah.
Other ones were like classrooms, but this one,
You knew you were in church.
yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of came up against the opening, the first image.
Which was him,
Like the still
oh,
shot.
the still shot.
Yeah.
Oh, the thumbnail, as they say.
Yeah.
Is a him.
And what did you? That kind of stopped you, or? Yeah. Can you say why? You're not good. I don't remember what it was, but anyway.
The 2 people running to the tomb, right?
Oh, right.
Wait, what
With the
was it?
circle,
No, the channel logo.
Oh, the shorts.
Oh.
Yeah. I did feel a disjointedness between the sound and the logo, the little jingle and the logo, and then the content.
Yeah.
It was a little,
the logo's tongue in cheek, but the video has none of it.
right. It's not lighthearted, you're in
Right.
church all of a sudden.
It's
Yeah.
kind of weird, I agree.
Yeah. Okay. So, was your attention on the speaker, on the content, or both?
I was more thinking about the speaker and his, I was noticing that he was essentially reading from a script, so he was doing a decent job of like looking into the camera. This was clearly a prepared speech, and I'm less engaged in that.
Focusing on the speaker. But
Yeah,
I
I'm
guess
getting
like
less
that.
from the content, yeah.
yeah.
Speaker.
Speaker.
Speaker. And same speaker with, and low engagement because of that.
Yes.
I guess mine, I was more focused on the speaker, but one of the things that I found interesting is that in the presentations we watched,
Mm-hmm.
when I was just being presented
Mhm.
scripture, I was less engaged because I know the story.
You're like, I can tune in later when
And I was just like, so I'm
Giving
watching this
analysis.
so I know what this is.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is some of the times we got right through the Bible to the person actually starting to expound on it. And when I was actually starting to get
Oh.
engaged,
Then
I was then cut out.
Yeah.
And so what I would say is when there was relevance to my lived life, I was more engaged. When it was Bible reading of stories that I already knew, I just wasn't engaged.
I've heard this one.
Yeah, been there. I preached on that a few weeks ago.
Granted, we're a specific subset.
I feel like I was engaged though because of the take on the story.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah,
I never heard of.
Yeah, I felt like that was something to be engaged in. It had the church setting, and what affected my attention was I thought his shirt was way too casual.
There were elements of the way he chose to do things that didn't feel cohesive,
Right.
right? The logo and the music, the shirt in the very formal looking setting. It's like, pick a lane and I'll be less distracted. I can handle either one,
Right, but not a.
but we're trying to do
Mismatch.
both and I'm not following.
Okay, voice and delivery. Did he sound like he was using his higher range or his lower range, and any other of those adjectives?
It was friendly.
Friendly?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. The thing I noticed was he had a creased brow for a lot of it. So he seemed stern, maybe a little grumpy, which didn't match what he was sharing, what he was saying. So I was looking for him to be smiling and sort of, like, that's what stood out to me from that.
Right.
He was speaking in a voice range that seemed his comfortable, natural range, and so there was a friendliness to that. He had good inflection, it wasn't monotone. He had an excellent pace, but that creased brow was distracting me enormously. I know it's silly, but it really was.
Yeah, and I get overly distracted by edits.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the times that there would be
Or just
the blur moment
rough
as it,
cuts.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he tried to do I'm assuming he edited it, he tried to do smoothish transitions, but yes, I agree, like, they stand out.
Yeah. Okay, tone and style. I found it to be like a direct kind of style and very much teaching, but
Mhm.
didn't
Yep.
you guys? Anything
Teaching,
different?
yeah.
I've direct and teaching written as well.
Yeah, teaching, assertive, and professional / distant.
Yeah.
I actually felt like he was sharing his insights.
Oh, interesting.
So I was relating to him, I thought he was relatable,
Okay.
and it felt kind of mixed
Mhm.
for me.
Yeah. Mixed professional and
And intimate, yeah,
sharing.
because he had that shirt on. Sorry.
I guess my
Bothered me.
the vibe I was getting was putting it into that professional category. If there had been some other signals, I would have more easily said, "Oh, he's sharing a thing." It sort of felt like he was trying to stay in that, but that's just how it came across to me.
Okay, structure and engagement. Whether it was spontaneous or kind of edited, which we said we
There
didn't
was
like.
some
Maybe
editing,
Yeah.
there was some editing.
But not polished.
But not
Well,
polished.
but the thing that I sort of went with the edited, polished side simply because he was reading from a script, right?
And he had video.
And he did do editing with the clips that were edited in and all of that stuff, and that can be a positive. It can also then work against you if you're trying to just be like, I'm here with you having this moment of engagement. So this was a mini sermon, which is fine if that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I put nigh professional.
Nigh professional.
Almost,
Yeah,
almost.
Leave it to you to use
Little less.
nigh as a word.
nigh
I'm on the
professional.
wrong side of the room here, I'm not the word person.
I bet his sermons are more engaging than that.
You what?
If I had to guess, I bet his sermons are more engaging than that.
Yes.
But it was the video setting that made it more
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
kind of straightforward.
Yeah.
I heard him trying to be emotional, but it was coming across to me as informational.
I put both.
Yeah, because he did have more.
He had both. I felt like I put a greater than sign toward the intellect, toward the informational, right? It's like it's both there, but that anyway.
And then the content and the message, like what do you think his focus was?
On lifestyle,
Mhm.
I thought.
Yeah.
And I thought it
Interesting.
was very clear.
I
Interesting.
put in new church theology.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
there was that.
I wrote biblical meaning myself.
Oh, yeah, well, that would be the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I was taking it as he was presenting us ideas about what are the challenges and struggles we face in our life, so that's why.
I had challenges and struggles too.
But you could almost say lifestyle, I mean, hang on.
Challenges and struggles.
The challenges
are our
slash
lifestyle.
struggle.
That is our
Relationship
lifestyle.
and
Yeah,
lifestyle
so
were the
maybe
two
it was a
options.
mixture. Okay, spiritual qualities, for lack of a better categorical term there.
Insight.
Clarity.
It was the clarity insight one is what I was getting from it.
Yeah, clarity, insight, and how did the message feel as far as intellectual, emotional, integrated?
Intellectual.
Yeah, very
Very
intellectual.
intellectual. Yep.
I felt like he had a strong presence,
Mhm.
and it felt somewhat genuine. It just felt like he wrote this from the heart, but he wrote it down and then practiced it a few times and then presented it, which all of that is appropriate stuff, but it can end up feeling like it's sort of removing you from the emotional roots of what you created.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay, thank you. So now let's move on to the second one, which was a female. What was your first impression? What got your attention straight away? What did you notice first?
Yeah, no background. There's a window, white window shades, it was very blank.
I noticed the window first.
it was a distracting background, right?
Yeah, the
It
window.
was distracting because it was so plain. Oh, because it was.
Well, also the eye naturally goes to the brightest thing on any
Yeah.
picture. It's something that you learn in both video and photo. I majored in that for a semester, and so my eye kept wanting to fight and kept going to the window over and over again, and my eye kept going there because it was the brightest part of the screen. And
Yeah.
And the video quality of overall was lower resolution, and so it was a less pleasant experience
Oh,
to look at.
yeah.
So you kind of had to focus your attention on the speaker, because that's all it was.
Yes. I noticed the sound of her, the beautiful sound of her voice. Like,
Mhm.
that was the first thing that really got my attention.
again, my difficulty is
Mhm.
also knowing the person so well
Yes.
and sitting through so many of her lectures and presentations, and it was a part where I had difficulty because of over familiarity with the subject.
You're not just analyzing this, you can't help but bring your experience offer into it.
When I just have an initial reaction, oh, it's Renee, and the feelings of Renee that I have for Renee.
The name calling.
Sorry, I can't help.
Know
But
her.
but it's one of those things that my previous experiences instantly come in, and so the warmth that I feel toward her is present because
Right.
it's a person who, I know I would like to inch towards very well.
Yeah. So that is harder.
So you need an unknown
Yeah.
sample and an unknown audience. I was noticing her high theological words.
Ah.
That I understand what she's talking about. This room understands what she's talking about. That's not, unfortunately, that language is not very accessible for an average person just swiping through videos on their phone.
Yeah.
What affected my attention was it was a very long reading.
Yeah.
I also agree with that. I said long passage should be on screen.
Oh, that's
Oh,
a good
yeah.
idea, yeah.
Yeah. So in that case, was your attention on the content, or
Yeah, I said it, yes.
yeah, on the content?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it Bible verse kind of wow, and I was seeing Renee.
Well,
I was actually like, it was on the presenter
Interesting number
because
two.
the content
It's just washing over you.
was just washing over me.
I noticed that then she spoke later about the cleansing of the temple, and I went, did she read that part of the sermon? Because I had also been like, I know the story, I'll come back later,
Right.
I'll mentally tune back into the story later, and that's a me problem, right? Like, I acknowledge that, but I genuinely don't know, did she read that part of
I
the
don't
story?
think
I don't think she did.
Okay, so that felt a little bit of a disconnect as well, like, if that's the thing you're gonna focus on, read that part of the story, right?
because
She read the up until that, right? Like he enters
Yeah.
Jerusalem, and right next is the cleansing, but she didn't actually read that.
she did all
Anyway.
the hosannas and
Yeah.
all the.
Anyway, this
I
isn't
couldn't
a
even say
critique of
because it
work
was so long.
yeah, this is
Right.
yeah.
Zoned out a little.
No, yeah, okay.
Too much
Voice.
Bible.
Too much Bible. Okay,
These
voice.
ministers, too much Bible.
Okay, voice and delivery for this one.
Oh, she's got a wonderful, wonderful voice.
Yeah.
Lovely to listen
It's
to.
really fairy.
Very
Yeah.
friendly.
But I felt like she.
She also had a furrowed brow.
Yes.
I noted that as well. Not the whole time, but it.
You're as highly attuned to furrowed brows.
Apparently.
I've actually gone up to Sage and said, can you relax right here? And she does that a lot.
Yeah. I felt like she was using the higher range of her voice.
Mhm.
Mm.
Whatever that Anyway, I just felt like she was using the higher range. And I was much more engaged when she was speaking extemporaneously and explaining than when she was reading or,
Yeah.
And when she leads in.
the leading in.
Yes.
A much more intimate way than we talk now. Okay, tone and style.
Is that number 4? Yeah.
I felt, and it was relatable, and it was a mixed kind of feel.
Yeah, I felt like maybe partly because of the extensive Bible reading, it puts me into the teaching mindset place. It wasn't bad, like being the teaching end of the scale is not a bad thing either, but.
No, but so you felt that she was more teaching, but
I thought
other
it was
people
more
thought she was more sharing. So she was doing both, maybe.
I had teaching.
Well, and some of this is very subjective, is how we hear it, how we perceive it.
Yes.
But others, I guess the teaching ends up in mine on a lot of these because there's an inherent, here's a thing and what it means, right? So that's inherently a teaching thing, but.
Although I, like some of you, can zone out on the scripture passage because I'm waiting to hear what she has to
Yeah.
say.
Mhm.
I want to
Absolutely,
hear from her.
absolutely.
And I thought she did that with, it was spontaneous, as is, and it was emotional. It was her feelings about it.
I definitely, I put down I'm jumping ahead, but I was more in that, this is a more spontaneous, this is more engaging for me than the reading of the previous one.
Yeah.
There was definitely an intimacy in the closeness. But one of the things that gets me is when people talk with their hands and you keep seeing the hands flop up into the video.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of like, what,
You don't see the whole motion, you're just.
what's going on down there? I want to see the rest of the hand motion. And so it's like when you have things darting into and out of the video, if you're a hand talker, it's good to frame yourself in such a way
Including them.
where your hands are there. If you're not a hand talker, or if you are, and
Make a plan.
handcuff yourself or something, I don't know, or frame it wider.
Zoom in real close.
Yeah.
But remembering that
Oh.
sort of the technicalities of it. But look, that might be relevant
I was
as
gonna
far as
say,
the
I would
differences
add
male.
to your questions.
Yeah.
I don't know, never
Yeah.
mind, go ahead.
So what I would say though is engagement. The question, what distracts and what draws in attention, are there. And again, for me, each one of us is different. And I taught video production, so it's hard for me.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard for me not to look and the cut.
Technical stuff.
The cut will draw my attention away from what's being presented,
Yeah.
and I think that's just the truth of it.
Yeah.
And
And I think anybody will be drawn in or distracted. You can name it because you're
Because
talking
it's
in your
done.
production. You're like, this is why this is happening.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe content and message. Was she talking more about it?
I thought she was talking about challenges, and I felt she was somewhat clear. Not totally.
I felt it cut off.
Well, I did cover
Yeah.
it.
We didn't watch the whole thing.
And it's just one of the things that's hard for me because it's like,
For the first part of the video.
Yeah.
I said lifestyle because we'd gotten and she was going into a direction of, so where's the cleansing you need in your life?
And then the
that
rest of
thing.
it is very much about lifestyle.
So it was feeling like she was heading into lifestyle. So that's what I said, but in
Overall,
fairness,
the
we didn't see
message
that part.
actually is, okay. And spiritual qualities, was her communication emphasizing warmth and care, or clarity and insight, or both, or something else?
Yeah.
Warmth
Interesting.
and care, yeah. And how did the message feel?
I thought it felt integrated, and it was
Mhm.
somewhat helpful.
I highlighted the sincerity. I thought it was very sincere.
Very genuine, yeah, sincere,
Yeah.
and mixed clarity and warmth, okay. And integrated as far as, yeah, okay. So that was the second one. The third one. Number 3, okay, is a male speaker.
Can we skip this one?
You skipped that one?
Sorry,
You were asleep, wasn't you?
I might have been.
Okay.
No, I was awake.
Okay, it
But
doesn't
I
matter.
thought he seemed bored though.
Really
Yeah.
interesting.
You didn't get that?
So what I get from, and I've watched some of his content before, he's leaned high tech, right, in a way that I find distracting,
Yeah.
That's what I put, video background was very
Way
distracting.
too much.
and that it's semi-transparent, so the backgrounds that he put are actually over his face. So I understand what he's trying to do. I think it's not serving. I think it's getting away from it. I appreciate his framing, shows enough of his body that you get his whole upper body expressiveness.
The entire time, it was very easy to focus on message versus the speaker for me, because I spent more of my time following that little lit up
The
word
captions?
caption
Yeah, you're
than I did
reading along.
looking at him.
Yeah.
And it was only periodically when the clouds started going through him that my attention looked up at him, but I was so focused on
You're reading along.
the reading along that I focused, I think, more on message than on him, because that dynamic shift was happening
Yeah,
Yeah,
that drew my attention.
thank you for putting it that way, because that was true for me too.
yeah, that's where my attention went to, was to the captions and therefore the content. So it seems like I'm hearing that first impressions was a lot to do with the background and the text.
That's what affected my attention, was the background.
The
was changing so
translucent,
fast.
yes.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah, that's a word.
it's a good word.
And I also wanted to agree with Ben. The speaker had a tonal quality that I understood was an attempt at being varied, but there's also a certain level of kind of routineness of tone that makes it sound like it's either forced or bored.
There were a couple of distractingly fake chuckles.
Oh, I see.
I didn't catch those, okay.
They were very subtle, but they were there.
And they found that distracting.
Yeah.
The use of laughter or whatever,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I thought it was embracing Swedenborg's notion of the spiritual life, because the speaker kept going in and out of Swedenborg's space.
Oh, right, there you go. But
I was
whether
wondering if that was kind of
intentional.
Oh, it's subliminal message?
yeah, that's a Freiberg reference too, if you don't know.
I
What?
don't know.
Stephen King
Oh, yes, of course.
in Kingdom Hospital talks about Swedenborg's space. And
Which is what?
the ghost stuck in the wall of Kingdom Hospital is a ghost stuck in Swedenborg's space.
There we go. All right, and I felt like he was sometimes dropping into his lower range for
Mhm.
emphasis or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he would play with pacing to emphasize
yes.
things.
Yes.
That's just human.
Had to be here for this morning to understand that. But before you guys got here, I'll tell you later.
Okay, the
I'm
tone
sorry.
and
I'll
style.
throw that in.
Yep, that was good. Okay, sorry. The tone and style of the presentation, teaching or
Just teaching. I thought there was some sharing in there, but it was mostly a teaching thing.
Yeah.
direct. I thought he was pretty assertive, like.
Yeah,
I agree.
assertive and distant at the
Yeah.
same time.
There was very little that connected me in an easy way to my lived
Right.
experience.
Right.
And so it was like, oh, I'm supposed to walk away from this so I can take the quiz.
Interesting.
Not, I'm supposed to take this and connect it to my lived experience. There were very few open doors for me to bring myself into it.
I thought he and number 5 were both trying to tackle sort of the theology of Christology, the Swedenborgian Christology, and that can be really hard to explain and make relevant. So that was my observation, was like, okay, how are you handling this? How are you explaining it?
Okay, structure and engagement.
We're being recorded, so I'll stay silent.
Okay. Structure and engagement. I said, what did I say? I think I said edited and polished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And engaging, I said with information.
With information.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. Okay.
You didn't think so?
I got more emotion from him than others did, but that's fine.
Yeah, okay. Engaged, actually I said he engaged with both, but I edited my response to say he engaged with both. Right. Content, and message. Where was his focus?
Again, on the church theology.
Yeah.
My note was, it was an educational tone, but it was also a very informal presentation
Right.
of the educational tone.
Mhm.
Where other people, it's much more like, oh, this is a professor speaking to me.
Right.
I didn't get that professorial approach,
Mhm.
but yet it was still educational, so it was a more informal educational than I thought with some of the other.
Right.
Kind of like a student doing a class presentation.
Oh.
But they prepared well.
I cared well, right?
It
the
isn't the student
With
doing,
extensive notes.
it's not the student who half-assed it at the last minute,
Yeah.
but sure.
Yeah.
And I think the friendliness, like that's what I felt like,
Yeah.
was friendly and therefore
I'm trying to do a
more
friendly thing.
casual.
But there's also, like, I've written down grounded but not real.
Ah.
And there was something about the presentation with the production of it, the over-engineering of it, that was like, I was pulled out of it being any kind of like it was just not as real feeling to me. And I don't know.
Genuine.
I don't know how, but again, that could have a lot to do with the fact that it was the speaker visiting me in my ghostly dreams.
What are we thinking about whether it was an intellectual or an emotional?
Intellectual.
It was intellectual.
Intellectual.
Yeah.
I wrote preachy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I said somewhat constructive, strong presence, somewhat genuine.
I mean, I think in general, for Swedenborgian content creators, being able to connect emotionally, I just didn't see a lot of people there being very emotional in their connection, because there's such this need to do a data dump with Swedenborg. And I've worked really hard over the past 9 years in preaching to get away from using any super inaccessible language, and I don't know if I do that. I really work hard on getting away from jargon.
How would you say this on the street to a perfect stranger?
I think I do it most of the time, not always. I mean, sometimes
You slip into it.
you slip into it, but it's very hard because it's a very words matter to Swedenborgians, and so it's hard to not appear intellectual and academic.
Although, I wanna say, because Catherine and I were talking about this when we were outside before you came in, if you're born into the church, there's a different expectation of yourselves than those of us who found the church later on, because we just didn't have all that background that those of you who grew up in
It's
the
like a
church.
native tongue, right?
Yeah.
So I grow up using this language, and so it sounds normal.
Right.
But as soon as I'm like, how would this sound to someone who doesn't know what this means? It's gobbledygook, right? And so I also try to be like, how would I say this to someone I've never met before? I'm just walking in off the street, because that's what we should be doing from the pulpit, or
Right.
anywhere else.
Like Kelly mentioned earlier, the elevator speech, like the elevator, what do you call it, like the little elevator?
Yeah, the elevator pitch.
Pitch.
And it cannot include jargon, because
Yes. That, no.
that should be the challenge, that should be the challenge.
Some people want a Latin mass.
Make the
Sorry,
elevator
Suzanne,
pitch.
listen.
Well, I was just saying, my elevator speech is that Swedenborgian Church believes there's truth and good in all religions, and all people who live a good life the best they know how go to heaven.
It's the least, it's
And
the
then
least
there's no jargon,
proselytizing
that's
one
just-
can possibly write.
Yeah.
All right, the fourth one, which was a female.
Nailed it.
Okay, what got your attention straight away?
No background.
Happy.
Joyful.
It made
Her
me
accent.
smile right away,
Made you smile right away.
because she was smiling.
Oh,
She was smiling her face off,
Yeah,
and all I could see was her lovely face.
yeah.
There wasn't anything distracting me from focusing on her face.
I hate TikTok.
Oh,
All I saw was TikTok, and
okay.
it drove me nuts. But
Maybe she
again,
posted it and picked
but I have to
it
say,
up, but I
if
didn't
you
know.
ask someone for how I feel about like social media streaming, like, it's, so I mean, for me, I hate the style. I hate the little flashes.
Oh,
I completely I was completely. I couldn't stand
I
it.
just thought she had the camera the wrong way.
And yet,
I mean,
Oh, no, it's
straight
TikTok.
up
Oh.
versus
So no,
sideways.
see,
No, it's
so here's
TikTok.
the thing, so
'Cause I
if
don't
the
know,
assignment was, if the assignment had been, for all these creators, if the assignment was, make a short video that can play on those platforms, the short video platforms, she's the only one
Yeah.
that it succeeded.
Oh.
and so
And
for
so
me that was
none
my
of them
That's
have them,
orientation.
and you don't like it, and therefore you're never gonna find that appealing.
yeah,
There
but
are many
that
people
orientation
for
is-
whom, yeah, that orientation is the rule, you have your face filling the frame. I could have done without her little bursty things, but they weren't a problem to me.
I can't stand it. Oh,
The
so
cuts,
And-
the cuts were very hard. The cuts were very rough.
It could have been better, and I still think of them, that's the
I
only
agree.
one that my kids would have actually gotten to the end of.
yes.
I agree.
None of the others, they would have swiped right past them.
She was happy, but for me, as I am, aging and my ears are slowing down, I got lost in what she was saying because she was speaking faster than I can
Oh.
follow along with.
And,
But I acknowledge, I think you're right. Kids are much more likely to follow that tone and the pace. So my review of it as a social media outreach is different from my personal feeling of it.
absolutely,
I think it was very good for what it was trying to be. It just was something that I had absolutely no desire.
Right, so in
Lots.
reality,
So
we're
it's
looking
definite-
at the communication,
Right.
Yeah.
not the tech, even though it's really hard to separate
well,
that out.
and I was gonna say, if you wanna keep doing this and evaluating with more groups of people, either pull that one and replace it with something that matches the others,
Mm.
so that you can say, well, we're leaving out the technical thing, or add in the technical thing and include that in your evaluation. Because you're talking about effective communication online, she had the one that will get watched the most.
Direct and assertive.
And you watch it 3 times in a row if you need to get what she's saying. Because you can, because it's a minute and a half, right?
Right.
I'm not gonna watch, I'm saying but like, young people today are not gonna watch any of the others more than once. And if it's unclear or confusing or whatever, they're gonna move on, it's not gonna bring them back.
But I also asked the question at the end, so what? Like, hey, great exciting statement, but so what? Like, it didn't connect with living for me outside of, hey, Easter, yay.
Okay, let's go through the questions. We got the first impressions, the attention, was your attention on the speaker, the content, both, none?
Both.
Both. Yeah, both,
What she said and
What was-
the energy she brought to it, high engagement.
high engagement.
Engagement, but again, for me, the words and the graphics I found distracting, but I would say that that I was aware of both.
Okay, voice and delivery,
Fire and fast.
friendly,
Friendly.
was she forceful at all? No, just.
No,
Friendly
just
and
friendly.
engaged.
Ebullient.
She was excited to
Enthusiastic.
tell me the story.
That's right.
She was more excited than anybody else to tell me the story, which is what drew me in.
Yeah, the emotional, yeah. Okay, tone and style, what did we say? Direct?
I said sharing, relatable, and intimate /
Oh,
personal.
yeah, sharing, yeah,
What she said.
what she said, okay.
I found her really direct and assertive.
Sure. Like she, no
She knew what she was gonna say and she,
Just said
bam!
And she said
And
it.
she brought it home.
Mic drop.
Okay, spontaneous or edited and polished?
Both.
Oh.
Because while it was clearly edited, she took a bunch of takes and edited it together, so each of them was very spontaneous.
I found it to be very polished, actually. I think it was,
Interesting.
I thought so.
it didn't have the meander of as is.
Okay.
Yeah, because in a minute
found-
she has to be very direct.
Yeah.
Why was her head moving so much between cuts though, if it was polished?
What I
Oh,
mean,
okay, sorry,
Okay, well,
I'm not saying grading her on polish, but
yeah,
was it
okay.
To flow.
somebody that
Okay.
tried to really,
You mean the message,
Yeah.
not the production?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
yeah, something.
Then sure, edited
Yeah,
and
okay,
polished.
content,
Fine,
relationships, lifestyle, challenges, struggles, or
I
Swedenborgian theology?
I wrote down storytelling.
I couldn't figure it out.
To me, this was
Oh,
her
it was too
rendition
quick for me.
of the story.
I put down other
Yeah, me
Easter,
too.
yay.
Caesar.
Yeah, which for me was other storytelling. She was telling the story. She wasn't
Happy
doing
that it's
interpretation.
Easter.
She wasn't doing, she was telling the story.
I'm happy that it's Easter and now you will be too.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
That's all. Yeah.
Or else, yeah.
Oh, okay, and the spiritual qualities. I definitely felt warmth, definitely warmth from her, but, and emotional, even though it was a story. That's what I felt.
I got warmth, sincere, story, and genuine.
Yeah, I was I didn't get warmth at all. Like I didn't feel like myself. I don't feel like I mattered to her. It was. I felt again. This is my issue with TikTok. I felt like she was screaming in my face, which is just in your face, in your face, in your face. Which is, again, it could be my TikTok bias.
I think your algorithm is off.
But there was no welcoming into the space. There was no like.
Right.
I just didn't feel, you know, it was a talking head that just started out being exciting, and my existence was irrelevant to the talking head. Where some of the other people, when I think about warmth, was, you know, hey, we're here for this purpose. We're lighting a candle. We're acknowledging this. Where this was just, boom,
Yep, and that's part of it.
which is part of what TikTok is.
But not all of
Which is
it.
why I hate it.
But
All right.
not all of it.
It
Everybody?
varies. She completed a specific style
Yes.
very, very well.
Yeah.
And not everybody likes it. And so for some it lands as she's yelling in my face, and others it's like, oh, I just got a recounting of the Easter story, and she loves the story and is excited about it, and it's contagious.
Which is what, if I were grading her on video, like from a video, I would give her an A.
Yeah.
It's not like,
Yeah.
but it
Agreeing around,
is.
does Kevin like this?
It's not like, oh, am I going to spend my time watching this? And the two are different.
Yes, totally.
All right, let's move on to the next one, which was a male. What got your attention straight up?
I went, oh, he's giving a sermon.
Oh, see, I thought it was
A classroom, that's.
I thought it was the quarter of the either
Chalkboard or whiteboard.
the whiteboard or screen
Yeah.
hanging there. I found to be very distracting.
Right.
And then when, yeah, and it felt very much like was this taken from a classroom?
So it's sort of what got you was like the professional teaching sort of.
Yeah,
Setting.
the lectern that he was at.
Yeah.
Well,
But then it was off center, and it wasn't until the words came up that I realized why.
Why?
Yeah.
Yes.
It had some kind of title over there, something to justify the off-centeredness of early on.
I felt like he was speaking to somebody else in the room and he was being recorded while he did it. I felt like I was an outside observer and not directly involved in it.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
wrote down, John is not the beloved disciple.
Oh, yeah.
First impression.
It's Mary Magdalene, right? It's Mary Magdalene, isn't it? It's the
Uh-huh.
beloved disciple.
Yeah.
Okay. Separate
Point of
discussion.
contention, not acknowledged.
Yes.
I would argue, scripturally speaking, it is no clear answer.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
what I was gonna say. And
All
there's a long tradition of saying it's John.
Okay.
So,
Back to the qualities of the video. Gonna write these ministers in from theological
we are not a
side
helpful,
discussions.
we're not a helpful sample.
Where did your attention go? Speaker, content, both?
Oh,
Content.
And the words on the screen I felt were helpful.
Yes,
Yeah.
if you're gonna read sections,
Yeah.
boy, put those words on the
Content.
screen. I was sort of, I felt like it was a balanced, I wasn't not aware of the speaker, but he was making it very easy to take in the message, the content.
Yeah. Okay, voice and delivery.
Oh, he had a good, relaxed
Friendly.
delivery, friendly.
Now, and I liked his use of hand gestures.
Yeah, once again, he was framed such that you could see his
used
whole
it-
upper body.
So his whole person was involved in giving the message. Yeah.
At points I found that it dragged and was a bit slow.
Sure.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
could have used more variation of pacing. By the end, the slowness mattered. At the beginning, it didn't. At the beginning, it was welcome. By the end, I'm like,
I'm ready to hit play at 1.5 speed.
Yeah,
That's what I'd say.
so that was voice and delivery. Okay, tone and style.
I keep losing track of what that is, yeah, teaching, professional,
Yeah.
Not very engaging of the audience life.
This
Yes.
registered to me as we're watching the live stream of either a class or a sermon. I wasn't distracted by the classroom because I'm like, maybe they have a classroom and that as their sanctuary. I don't know, but and partly because he's not looking at the camera and partly what he was conveying, it was adjacent to life. It wasn't like, here's how this fits in your life.
It's a professional assistant, yeah. Okay, edited and polished or spontaneous?
Polished and informational.
I wouldn't say polished, I'd edit and prepared.
Yes,
And I think there's a difference between polished and
Yeah.
prepared.
yes.
Yeah, sure.
Well, and like you're saying about him not looking at the camera, he was as is, somebody professionally put the stuff in there, and he might have done it later, but the actual video of us watching him just looked like, okay, this was the class I'm teaching today, we just happen to have a camera, so I'm gonna videotape it and see what happens.
It registers to me because I run the live stream at Church of the Holy City and it's not dead center, because if you put the camera in, you can administer dead center, you're blocking the people that are actually in the room. So you prioritize the people who are in the room having a positive experience while still running a live stream, and so you end up with this, the person's preaching and delivering a talk, and they're not looking right into the camera.
Right,
And so that's how it reads for me, because I'm so used to it.
yeah.
Well, so this I guess, I don't know if this is a thing for this room or not, but this comes down to me, like the question of content creator. Is me posting a sermon that's recorded of me preaching to a room a content creator, or is it a live stream? To me, a content creator is someone whose principal purpose is to go from what they're saying to the internet, and if it's a recording, then it's a recording of a live event. It's not a person creating content, and that might be
So this one, like the TikTok,
fine
this
line,
is the
but-
this is the other end of the spectrum from the one that's made for TikTok. That's why it's an outlier. This one is an outlier because it's putting things that were made for people in person onto the internet.
But there's actually a lot of videos like that.
Oh, sure.
So
But your
that's
point
why
is,
it's included as content creation, because you've got content now created out on the internet, but it's a different kind
Right.
of thing than I'm gonna sit in front of this camera and do.
like
something
I don't
related to-
consider myself a content creator.
if it plays well on
But-
the internet,
If
great,
it's on-
but that's
I
not what
have-
you wrote it for.
I have 5 years of videos that are on the internet.
Right?
Yeah,
But the difference in when I started in the shed with the rabid squirrel looking at me,
was that pandemic?
that was during the pandemic. It was me engaging the camera, coming up with what is my little video I'm going to post, versus now it's I'm doing the worship service and there's a guy up in the booth running the camera.
Yeah,
And there's a difference between the titling, but maybe the internet doesn't care.
yeah, I think the internet does.
The metrics would tell us whether the internet cares. but
That's
at any
right.
rate.
Structure, and then we did that. Content, I think we did.
Yep.
Content, challenges and struggles, relationships to lifestyle, Swedenborgian, biblical.
Theological teaching.
Biblical meaning.
Yeah, yep. And then, the spiritual qualities. What did you guys put for that?
Clarity, insight.
Clarity and insight.
I said clarity, insight, intellectual, and I said somewhat constructive.
Intellectual, but it didn't, nothing came to again, it was a lecture about what Swedenborg talks about. Nothing was presented in such a way that made me say, this is why this is meaningful for my
This is
life.
how it applies to my
And
life tomorrow.
at the end, because I cut off the video, and maybe at the end of the video you
Yeah.
get it. But for the section that we saw, yeah.
And I think there were a couple people who I just wrote, I want to see the end.
We'll do that later. All right, and I felt that his presence was moderate, only because there was so much distraction or use of other things, like my attention would go to the written,
Right.
the clarity of the captions.
I liked the way he was on a static background, but his hand, they still managed to get his hand to appear on top of what was being projected.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, look at that!
That's being fancy. All right, the last one. This is going to be hard for me to hear, but you can just tell me what you thought about my video.
Very pleasant.
Oh, all right. Okay, so the first thing that got your attention?
Your mini split.
Yeah, sorry.
And
That's
I
why I
said the
noticed
background. I
too.
said too much.
Busy
too much
background.
busy background.
I said busy
The
background.
mini split specifically, that nice white mini split. Do you know who makes it? It looks very nice. I have a mini split. It looks similar to mine.
I don't have a
The
mini
air
split.
conditioner, heater air conditioner on the wall.
Do you think we can do something?
You have one in your office.
No.
I recommend Mitsubishi. They work really well.
They do. We have Mitsubishi in the kitchen.
What I noticed though, that you welcomed us and introduced yourself and started with prayer, right? Like you welcomed us in, you gathered us together, you started with prayer.
Yeah. So like the opening, the welcoming.
The welcoming, yeah.
Yeah.
You set the tone right at the start. And I wrote, Roz is lovely to listen to.
Oh,
The background made me think, oh, this is Roz's house.
Yeah.
Look at
And
this
look
more
how
closely.
close-
Yeah,
think
that's
she
what
has
she
a
said, what's
wall
going
in-
on in her house.
Yeah.
I felt there was a good balance between speaker and content, except it cut off too early.
You
It
can
cut
watch
off
the
right
whole
when it got
thing.
interesting.
Mm.
And so for me, it's like it would be nice if we went through a lot of the reading and the storytelling, but when we actually got to what I would find the most engaging,
That's when we cut off.
and that's when I started going, ooh, here we go. Oh,
So sorry about that. We can only respond. Okay, so your attention was on both speaker and content. Yeah. The voice and delivery.
Friendly and relaxed.
Friendly, inviting.
And then the tone and style.
I got teaching.
teaching.
I wrote sharing.
Sharing.
I felt very sharing in
I have to trust my notes. It's all
Teaching
become,
and sharing.
it's all run together.
Okay.
Yeah, and for me, it was just listening to Roz teach what the Easter story, what the phases of the Easter story.
Yeah,
Sorry. Well, you started out by saying it was you.
Yeah.
it's true.
So-
Yes,
And I guess-
I don't mind you if you identify me. I did right from the beginning, but it's a.
And I was thinking about the fact that you were doing the one thing for the week, right? This was the one offering for the week from
Yes.
Deborah's Tree. And so you're trying to encompass the whole of Holy Week.
Yes.
And I was sitting there thinking, that's a lot to cover. So I was a little distracted and I couldn't help feeling, distracted too strong a word. I was like, oh, she's trying to cover it all. Okay, that's a lot, right? And what are you gonna do? This is when you're doing it, right? And this is the format for Deborah's Tree. But yeah, I guess that was the thing that I ended up feeling like it was the teaching thing because you were going through the story blow by blow.
Yeah.
Which ended up, yeah.
There was one other thing that I wanted to say about what was distracting about my attention is I would notice we'd lose the top of your head every once in a while.
Oh.
And I think you need to be farther back from the camera and maybe put it higher up, because I also can see up your nose.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you're
horrible.
looking down,
Yes.
Yeah.
right?
And I will say, I'm guessing, did you have this recorded on your computer and do it?
Yes.
Because it was the only one of them that had an actual HD fidelity camera.
Oh.
So your face was clearer than all the other ones because it wasn't transmitted through the interwebs.
Oh, yeah. That's
And so I could instantly tell, oh, this is like studio production HD quality. And
Unfortunately, she's got the angle wrong. I'll just for disclosure, I don't use that setting where I had it on my desk anymore because of that very reason. Like I'm looking down. Yes.
I'm sorry, but the occasional face
I have that too.
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
distracting on the video.
And you see the little talking with hands when you want to make emphasis. You see these little thumbs pop up, and it makes you want to see more of. It makes you want to see more of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I told Becky
Okay.
to come at 5:30 and it's 5:33.
Okay. Structure and engagement. Spontaneous, edited, engaging.
I said edited, but.
As is, but engaging.
As is but engaging,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it felt very.
You were talking to me.
Oh, hi, you guys still going?
You weren't, yeah,
I'm
you're
crashing the
coming.
party.
I gave us an extra half hour and apparently that wasn't enough.
I go outside.
We're almost done.
We're nearly done.
Okay, okay, the content and the message, relationship-ish, or challenges and struggles, or
I said relational and clear.
relational?
I didn't feel like you got to the point of what you were saying.
So you don't know what the
So I don't know.
She cut it off, so. you know.
Yeah, I just, it didn't, I didn't have a connection to say relational. It was clear, I got what you said, and it was like, yep, there's the Easter story, but.
Those are externals, they don't matter.
Yes. Okay, and then
Strong
spiritual
presence.
qualities,
I said clarity, insight,
Yeah.
intellectual, moderate.
both,
Yeah.
the balance, okay.
Message felt grounded and sincere.
Yeah. Helpful, yes, and presenter's presence was strong and genuine.
And genuine. Okay, so now, of course, we've already over time, but just in general, the male and female differences.
Oh, I thought
Was
they
it
were
just,
very big.
Yeah.
I put every female presenter as genuine and every male is not.
Wow.
I really did.
yeah, so the women presenters came across as
Came
genuine.
across as genuine and sharing and warmer.
I did not get that personally. One of the things I thought was funny is all of the women presenters were just headshots and not body shots. And I thought that was an interesting thing, is that in this curated collection, it was all much more present in your face, where all of, most of the what I presume to be male presenters were further away from the camera and seemed, again, a little bit more professorial and more formal in their presentation. But I don't know, if that's because of distance in the framing or not.
And that's one thing that I read was that framing it up close like that is more personal. It's like somebody's at the table sharing with you, and further away is more the didactic teaching. And interestingly, we noticed in this, like you said, curated, not random collection, that the men were seemed to be more professional, with professional backgrounds at a distance. And the women were up closer and
Yeah, and yet, even with the more relational videos, the professionalism was still there, right? The wisdom, right?
yes.
Was
Yes.
still there.
I was looking for insincere, and I didn't find insincere from any of them. I mean, they all seemed sincere to me. Whether or not it was kind of overly rehearsed, it didn't seem like any of them were insincere.
I didn't mean like they were lying or they didn't believe what they were saying. I meant like the way that they delivered the message was
They were feeling it.
They were not feeling it. Yeah. The guys, I don't think
Are
were
they
really,
feeling their own experience,
you know.
whereas the women are feeling their experience?
Yep.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I hear
And
what
the
you're
guys had all the fancy video and text and all that, and the women just spoke.
Lynn
Yeah,
had some.
We have
Lynn
the
had
one
some.
TikTok one,
Lynn had some.
had the little,
Okay.
I'm just
But in
saying,
general,
there was
I-
one
I-
woman that
I
had
don't
Men
feel
were
like
much more
to get the content, you need flashy stuff behind you.
it depends on your
If the
definition.
person's going to, if the person is looking for that message, that's always the thing. I mean, I just haven't had a lot of, I don't wanna say respect, but I haven't had a lot of resonance with big flashy presentations with lots of video and lots of, glitz and glamour. I'm a Luddite.
Okay, and just one more quick question, I know, but any insights about you, your gender, and how you take in the videos or take in, how you respond to it?
Yeah, once I'm put off by something, I'm out.
Ah,
That's, yeah, that's my feeling.
If the content is interesting, I really don't care how it's presented. I'm just listening for new insights and new reflections on stories.
With all of them, if it had been, hey, watch these videos in anticipation of coming, I would have had a doodle out and I would have been listening to them. Like every single one of them, because I would take in the content better if I wasn't even looking at them.
I don't know if this is female or if this is me, but I respond very much to the sound of the voice, the pitch of the voice. It might be the musician part, I don't know, but the quality of the voice is important to me. The other stuff is maybe not as much.
There's a part of me that asks in a curated collection why there was no Curtis Childs in it.
That's interesting, isn't it?
I'm just wondering, because
I thought about putting Curtis in, but I thought I'm gonna have to look through a lot of videos where it's just him. Like, I don't know.
Mhm.
So
Practical reasons.
I was like, yes.
his earlier ones are.
My observation continues to be that everyone who's not everyone, most people who are making videos for this tradition are really trying to do what Curtis did 10 years ago still. And but with a few exceptions, our lovely Lynn, I'm sorry, you shouldn't. Our lovely presenter number 4 was not trying that, and I think that is a breath of fresh air for us, for me anyway. I don't want to hear, I don't want to hear
If you're trying to create content online for right now, a short video, 1.5 minutes is going to be your maximum, with a very clear, like, this is what I'm doing, and understanding that the goal is to create a feed of this, so that every day, at least once, somebody's going to be flipping through and they'll come across there and I liked that, and they'll like it, and then that will come up more in their feed. And so a sermon is too long. It's always going to be too long, right? A lovely brief retelling of the Easter story you can do. A lovely brief retelling of a Swedenborgian principle you could do. And over time, your audience builds around these short little snippets that become a body of work. And so any one of them is going to need to be punchy and accessible and engaging, and you're going to have some flops, right? But like overall, the body of work has to draw people in.
Yeah, I would push back slightly by saying, and again, this is after the amount of money that the Swedenborg Foundation has funneled into Curtis, and I've been a part of this world now. I'm about to be one of the longest sitting board members in the foundation, so I see a lot of the stuff in the background. I would say it's about creating a diet. You need to have a channel that engages both in those little snippets, but when somebody wants the 5 minutes or 10 minutes,
That there is something there.
if you go beyond 10 minutes, you're just done.
Yeah.
No one wants more than 10 minutes unless you're doing near studio quality work. But it's about creating a proper diet of things that give instant engagement and that are fun and plucky, but then also draw you into your deeper stuff if you want your channel really to go. So one of the things the foundation started doing is going into some of these hour-long snore fests and trying to snip out the parts that are interesting and then reproduce them into the shorter stuff to try and say, oh, well, if you like this, you can watch this in the full thing. And they're trying to draw in to longer engagement because they realize the minute gets you, but the hour-long thing is where you want them.
Yes. Well, thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, Ross, for
Yes,
letting us
thank
do
you
this.
very much.
Yeah.
And if you do it again, my reason for talking about Curtis
Oh, yes.
is you have a lot of these really wonderful home producers who are really trying to pave the way. And Curtis has had millions of dollars spent to get him to where he is. He's gone to presence coach. He has a staff of 10 or 15 people working with him. He has writers. He has multi-camera studio setups.
Like, none of us is gonna be able to.
Well, no, but I know that, but I mean,
Right.
it also, but I'm saying you talk about what does it mean to have a presence.
Oh, right.
And what it requires is,
It's it gives a radically different picture that, that to be able to sit there and say, you know, this is the spectrum of what it means to go from Renee sitting in front of her computer with the window back to a highly produced,
Yeah.
you know, $500,000 a year budgeted,
Yeah.
or more, probably closer to $800,000 a year budgeted video staff,
Yeah.
right? And it's just, it shows an odd thing for content creation that I think is intriguing. And I'm not saying on the foundation, I'm not one of the big Curtis proponents.
Oh,
Right, I'm one of the ones who says, no, the foundation's about publishing books,
right,
not about doing the online stuff, and the online stuff exists to help motivate people to actually engage with the text.
right.
And we shouldn't let the cart get before the horse. Other people are all about internet content creation, but I just think it's, when studying it, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
Have you looked at many of the interview type shows? 'Cause you also have, you know, Sage and Corey
Right.
and other people who do
Yeah, they interview.
the interview approach, which is a different type of content.
Yeah. Yeah. For the
I mean-
purposes of male-female gender
Yeah.
differences, I just kind of.
Oh yeah, for the
But
purpose of this,
Yes.
yes. No, it was perfect for this. I was just wondering about the larger, the content creation of